gummy bear.
It's the internet. You're busy. Let's do this on July 28th. I didn't update the date, so I'm going off of memory. 2022. For the next hour or so, let me help you sort through the world of gaming on Game Mess Mornings Live with me, Jeff Grubb. Today, it's been 6,489 days since the last F-Zero game. But first, please join me in welcoming today's co-host of Game Mess Mornings. It's Jan Ochoa from Giant Bomb, everybody.
That's me. Grubb, one day when you do the F-Zero bit, I want you to do it in like to the melody of Rent.
Yeah. Okay. Yes, I will. I will pull that out of nowhere. I'm going to wait until you forget, and then I'll pull it out for you. Absolutely.
Yeah. And then I'll bust out my fingerless gloves and my trench coats.
Perfect.
Everything.
Exactly. I don't know about too much about stage musicals and like when you go to do them as someone who's like not necessarily doing them on Broadway. Have you ever been in a production of Rent? Is that something that the kids do?
No, but I unfortunately have been in many parking lots where musical theater people have.
So you have essentially done all of Rent as a performance. Yes. Okay.
Yes.
That makes
I'm
a lot of
sorry
sense.
to the locals around that parking lot.
Yeah, they are. They've been waiting for your apology. They have been waiting for your apology. So they're going to be very glad to hear that. All right. Before we get into this mess, let's talk about what we do here and explain ourselves. Each weekday, I, Jeff Grubb, will help piece your gaming life back together. That includes breaking news, the catch-up, where we discuss the biggest topics consuming the lives of gamers everywhere, and maybe even bring some of our own original reporting. For all these topics, I'll get the input of a bona fide expert who will make me look smart. If you are watching live on Twitch, welcome. You can always listen to the show later on podcast feeds by searching for Game Mess Mornings or find the RSS on giantbomb.com. You can also catch the show later with chapters and timestamps on YouTube. Hello, YouTube. Okay, we have a lot to get into, so let's start the morning mess with Wave 2 of the Mario Kart 8 Deluxe DLC tracks are coming next week. This is from VGC. Nintendo has announced that Wave 2 of Mario Kart 8 Deluxe's DLC tracks will appear next week. The next 8-course booster pass tracks will be available from August 4th, the company has confirmed. It's like the next 8 booster course pass tracks. It's like just a lot of punchy syllables there. Wave 2 will consist of 2 new Grand Prix, each containing 4 tracks. The new GPs will be called the Turnip Cup and the Propeller Cup. Here, Jan, for you are the... Yeah, let me bring up the news assets so people can watch in the background and get an idea of what these things actually look like.
Deluxe booster.
Oh, that's way too loud. All right, let me turn that off. There we go. All right, so here's the name of the tracks. Tour New York Minute. So that means it's from Mario Kart Tour, and this is in the Turnip Cup. And it's like a lot of the big theme of like Tour is like we're going to take you around the world and stuff like that. And so it's the New York City thing. Then we get Super Nintendo's Mario Circuit 3, which I'm like, how's it from Mario Circuit 3 and Super Nintendo? Wasn't that the second Mario Kart? But whatever. I don't know these numbering schemes. Calamari Desert from Nintendo 64, and then the DS's Waluigi Pinball.
Oh, okay.
In the Propeller Cup, we get another one from Tour, Sydney Sprint. Then we get GBA Snowland, Wii Mushroom Gorge, and then finally a new debut course, Sky High Sundae, which looks very, very delicious. I'm all for it.
I'd love to drown and drive through ice cream.
Absolutely. Are you the kind of person who's going to check back in on Mario Kart as these new tracks come out?
I think because I bought that expansion pass, I'm legally obligated to check in on them. And my friend groups and myself individually, not generally a Mario Kart person on my own, and that's not like the first go-to game that we're gonna flock to. But, you know, this game is still at full price on the eShop and at retailers. So there is definitely an audience that is jazzed and super psyched about this.
Yes. I have a community that plays that at one point was playing every Saturday. Once this comes out, I think we'll probably get back into that. But because you could just have the like the not a tournament, but like I guess it is kind of like a tournament, and sort of like whoever gets the most points during that day's period is the winner. And so we would just like set that up, and people would check in throughout the day and play. when this came out, we did when the first like set of courses came out, we checked back in. Then it was fun. I don't know. It's like they weren't, but it wasn't quite enough to keep us coming back the entire time. I would imagine this will be like this is going to be the kind of thing that builds. It's like, okay, so we still have those 8 new tracks that we haven't played to death, and now we have 8 brand new ones, including one we've never seen before. I think it's probably gonna like build up over time, where it's like this will be even stickier than last time. I'm someone who really likes Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. It's one of my favorites. But that's the trailer showing. There's a lot of tracks yet to come. They are doing this through the end of next year. So more courses from the Mario Kart series are coming. I think they said 48 more are coming. So yes, so. We've already got 24, so a big. I'm sorry, 48 in total. I'm sorry, and we already got what? 16. There we go. I did math. I want to take a closer look at this one here, though. This is the Sky High Sundae, and boy, it looks tasty. It looks good. Nintendo's very good at desserts.
Yes. Oh, very much so. I'd love to check these courses out with you, Grubb, and perhaps other members on staff.
I think we really, really should. It's the kind of thing I think we have a good time with. And we could like just open up one of those tournament things and let people get in if they want. But yeah, that could be that's definitely something we should do. I'm looking forward to it. Let's move ahead here. Get over here to there we go. Sega's Hardlight Studio is working on a new Sonic mobile game. This is by Chris Scullion at VGC. Sega's Hardlight Studio is working on another Sonic mobile game. A new job listing has revealed. The listing, which was posted on GameIndustry.biz's job boards, is titled Lead Artist, New Sonic Game. It reads, Sega Hardlight is looking for a lead artist who can drive both the art and the art team on a new, exciting, ambitious, narrative-driven platform game. You could be an art environment lead with or you could be, and this is like saying, oh, you could be if you're going to have this job, an art and environment lead with a proven track record, or a senior artist looking for a step up in the career. As a lead artist, you'll be at the forefront of one of our new titles. You will help drive both the artistic vision and the internal art team to produce high-quality art through effective communication, collaboration, detailed planning, and active mentorship. Jan, I'm not too surprised to hear that another Sonic game is in the works. Is this
not at all.
Is this something where it's like, okay, as a Sonic fan, you're ready to show up for a new mobile game?
Not necessarily. I believe there are already a couple mobile Sonic games, and none of those have really caught my attention, unless this is something like drastically different in that, I don't know, I can get like multiple variations of Sonics via gacha form, and even then, as someone that is dangerously tempted by gacha games all the time, I don't think I'd even then be interested. I don't know. Maybe it's a card game.
Maybe. I think they could combine card collection with platforming Sonic stuff, and there you go. And the neon white of Sonic games, basically, is what we're looking for here.
Yes.
Hardlight Studio has been responsible for 6 Sonic mobile games over the past decade, the story reads. These include 3 endless runners, Sonic Dash, Sonic Dash 2, Sonic Boom, and Sonic Forces Speed Battle. So that seems to be their wheelhouse. Maybe it's like, okay, as new Sonic games come along, we do the endless runner version so that when people on their phones are like, can I play that new Sonic game on my phone? And they search for it on the Play Store or the Apple Store or whatever, they can find this instead. And they're like, okay, I guess this is the new Sonic game. It seems to be that's their strategy here. I bet they're probably just continuing that, right? They are their own, what is that, Team Asylum that makes those movies that's like rips off the other movies. Sega does that to themselves with mobile games.
Yes, they're in on the take.
Yes,
turns out.
Yes, totally. It was their plan all along. I guess like, other than a card game, is there anything like, if it is going to be an endless runner without gacha mechanics, is there anything they could do to like get you into it?
I can't say that there would be. I would almost say that. Raisin B-Man puts Chow Garden. Yeah. Honestly, if they had a Chow Garden like as a separate standalone thing. And there's tons of Tamagotchi style games on the iPhone, but a little bit of familiarity with the Chows, I feel like would get folks in. Might get me in to check it out at least. But if it's a pure Sonic runner, the only thing I would say is perhaps, I don't know, maybe listening to the music. But even then, you can find the music on virtually almost every platform Where
maybe that's what they should do, though. Maybe they should make it a rhythm game. Maybe they should make it a Sonic music rhythm game where, yeah, you play as Sonic and he runs along these courses, but it's like the enemies or whatever are attacking you to the rhythm, and you have to jump and like hit the loops to the songs or whatever. That could be cool. And there's so much good music in Sonic, right? That would be a good sort of take on that for them.
That's a good idea, Grubb, and I don't think they're gonna do it.
Well, I mean, Sig is so known for doing good ideas. Oh man,
only with some properties, not their main like breadwinner.
Yes, it says Raffle Pidgey says Sonic Melody of Memory, which he could be right. I can never remember if that Square Enix game is Melody of Memory or Memory of Melodies. But yeah, Melody of Memory. There we go.
God, I can't remember it either now.
No, there's no way. There's no way a human being's brain could handle remembering that order. All right. PS5's latest system software beta adds 1440p and support and folders today. So finally, some requested features here in both of those. I'm surprised 1440p is finally happening. This one I also picked up from VGC. Players can now organize their games into game lists. Sony Interactive Entertainment has announced details of the latest PlayStation 5 system software beta test, which is rolling out today. The headline feature is the introduction of support for 1440p HDMI video output, enabling players with compatible PC monitors and TVs to choose an additional visual setting when playing supported games. Another new feature is game lists, which are essentially folders designed to make organizing games easier. Under the Your Collection tab of the game library, players can now choose to create game lists. They can make up to 15 named lists with 100 games per list, including disc, digital, and streaming titles. There's some other stuff here, but those are definitely the standouts. I'm someone who is a big fan of 1440p, especially, obviously it's the thing most people associate with monitors. There are a few TVs, Samsung in particular, that support 1440p, and if you're sitting 8 to 10 feet away from the TV, 1440p is actually kind of more than enough to get like that same effect as 4K. And then yet it's still a lot of these games even run a little bit better at 1440p than they do at full 4K. So Xbox has supported this for a long time. I've and one of the nice things here is like older TVs also seem to be better with this because HDMI 2.0 can do 1440p at 60 frames per second or 120 frames per second or something like that. So it's like maybe this is the best of both worlds, and the PlayStation 5 can now support that, where it's like running a 4K game at 120 frames per second. That's hard, even if you do have HDMI 2.1 for a game to render that much that fast. 1440p at 120 frames per second is a little bit more realistic, and it'd be nice if PlayStation games could sort of embrace that and offer that up as an option. Is that something that you care about? Do you have any sort of 1440p monitors around you that you would use as a gaming monitor for your PlayStation 5?
No, and then just where I have my PS5 set up, it's like set up at like the main TV of the house.
Right.
So for folks that primarily game at their desks or have the fancy schmancy monitors, shouts out to y'all.
Yep.
But someone that's like will be sitting like maybe even further than 8 to 10 feet away. And I don't believe my TV even supports 1440p.
Yeah, probably not.
Cool is one of those things. And then same thing with the game list feature, which is just folders. Come on, Sony, just call them folders.
Yeah, right. But Nintendo did a similar thing. I don't think they called them folders either. They think they called them collections. It's like they're both like, did Microsoft like trademark folders? No, folders have been around for forever. What are you talking about?
Did 5-Star, the folder company,
yes,
ban every other company? Do they own the copyright?
Trapper Keeper owns that shit. Trapper Keeper's very litigious, so I would watch out. I'll come for your ass. Have you ever used folders on a system before?
No, I'm a very messy lad and very disorganized.
Same.
That I can't imagine ever using this. I'm just the type of person to just look up stuff alphabetically and then like, oh, there it is. Like I will always just scroll to the big game list at the very end of the PS5 menu and just like, all right, well, that's where I got to go.
Yep.
What wound up working for me is just seeing like what is all of my games versus what is installed. And for me, that was enough. But I understand that folks that have like external hard drives that want everything installed, want some type of organization, or maybe I don't know, maybe it's like these are my Tuesday games.
Yeah, man, like this is the games I know I'm in the mood for on a Tuesday. Look out, Tuesday! Here I come, Tuesday games. I'm pretty similar. The one thing I do use is the quick pins on the Xbox interface, where it's like I can just hit one button and I can pin them to that easy menu to get to, and then there they are. And I've done that a lot. Although every once in a while, like that requires effort. It requires putting more energy into cleaning it up, or else Entropy will take it and be like, oh man, I have games that I definitely have uninstalled, and some games I never plan to play again on here. And the game I was just playing last week is not on here. So it's like time for a little bit of cleanup. And if I don't do that regularly, it becomes really sort of like, okay, now it's like a big hassle and I just don't even want to look at it. And I think that's true of all folders and all sort of manual sort of trying to put your life together in when it comes to gaming. It's like a lot of times I just want to show up at the end of the day after I've been organizing other stuff professionally. Let's just kind of go and find the game that I have installed. And yeah, I agree with you. Like the games I have installed on this system is the most important one for me. And then there's a little bit of out of sight, out of mind. There's definitely times where I'm like on Steam and I do that. And it's like I've just installed a bunch of games, and the game I want to go back to, the reason I like opened up Steam will be off the screen. I'll be like, what did I even open up Steam for? I don't. But you know, it's just something I gotta live with. Other features here, the beta gives players the ability to compare 3D audio and stereo audio on the same screen before choosing the preferred setting. That's a neat little thing, so you can kind of like hear the night and day difference if there is one. New social features include the ability for users to request that party members start share screen in order to watch their gameplay, and notifications telling players if another party member's game is joinable. Players can join directly from these notifications. So just kind of streamlining the experience of playing together and doing like the share screen, which I think is like the over the internet couch co-op thing where like you can play so that's cool that they're like sprucing that up and giving that some attention, because it's the kind of thing that I really like that concept. It worked when I played Cuphead with Dan on Steam. We did that, and that worked really well. It's like, man, we should be thinking about ways that we can use that when needed on PlayStation as well. So I'm glad that they're still supporting that. And then in the game-based card, players can now send stickers and voice messages to their groups. So fantastic.
I love stickers.
Yeah, I think I like voice messages. I like voice messages on anything that's not a phone, where I can like just send you a random thing, and I could just bother you. Be like, what is this thing? And then Jeff Grubb's just like singing a song to you for 10 seconds, and you're like, oh my god. Oh, God, this fucking guy. All right. Bungie says it has reduced communication with players due to real threats towards staff.
Oh, boy.
This comes from Chris Scullion at VGC. Bungie has stated that it has reduced the amount of communication it has with its player base due to harassment and threats. In a reaction to a Reddit post noting that Bungie was responding to users far less frequently, one user replied, "That's what happens when developers receive harassment and death threats over a video game." When another user suggested that the focus on the rude minority was a deliberate PR-driven attempt to reduce communication without backlash, Bungie community manager DMG04 claimed that the situation had gone beyond merely rude remarks and had escalated to threats. Here's the thing. The harassment we've spoken to isn't just rude replies on Twitter or vague comments, DMG04 replied. There have been real threats towards our people and our studio. They added, we're taking them seriously, which is leading to an amount of reduced communications as the team plans future protections / strategies to help avoid these sorts of things. Now, we know for a fact that Bungie is taking this stuff seriously and claims that this stuff, like on a legal level, claims this stuff is happening because they're suing one person who has made threats like this, has said, hey, I'm going to move close to you and you better keep your doors locked. And look how far away I am on this map from this community manager and their house and their home address. And it's like, at a certain point, protecting, like you have to protect the people making your game because that's everything. And not just like protect them physically. Obviously, that goes without saying. But protect them mentally too from even having to think about these sorts of things. And what I mean, like even from just a pragmatic point of view, the work is everything, and the work comes from the people being able to feel good about doing the work and not being like feeling threatened. And so it's like, if they want to make money, they need to be doing this, let alone if they just want to be a good company, which it does seem like Bungie does take this stuff seriously on that level as well.
Yeah.
Like, what choice do they have here other than, yeah, we're going to back off for a little bit while we figure out new ways to protect our people?
Yeah, totally. I mean, please sue all these like perverts into the
Yes.
dust because
In them, yeah.
uh, you know, I'm sure we've both worked with people that have garnered a lot of attention from the public.
Yes,
That
absolutely.
there are definitely moments where I myself have feared for them, and they, of course, are like trying to put on the best face for the public to not show those fears or whatever. But there are a bunch of people out there that believe that the couple dollars that they spent entitles them to more than just a copy of the game. And of
Yep.
course, like, you know, like if you pay for a service, there's an expectation there, but that does not at all entail tracking someone to where they live physically and like stalking them.
Yep.
There's no instance where stalking is okay.
Yep. And it's the kind of thing where it's like there are a certain group of people that are reactionaries online, and the old thing of don't feed the trolls does apply. Like, because there's some people do operate on that level of they are looking for a reaction, and if they get one, they will keep it up. But there is clearly a threshold where that stuff doesn't matter anymore. If someone is moving close to you to harass you more efficiently, ignoring them isn't going to be the answer. Now, that doesn't mean like, okay, but Bungie right now is like, we're going to just kind of quiet down and try to like not say anything that might provoke these people. But it does sound like, yeah, they're trying to figure out ways to like avoid this stuff, and maybe like just put a team in place to like, hey, if you do something that is that if you start harassing our people, we're going to look for ways to sue you, like we did with this one person. And I'm like,
Yeah.
well, okay, yeah, if that's the strategy, that seems like maybe could be very effective. Now, it's maybe not something that every team has access to, but maybe setting the precedents could help other developers as well. Like if Bungie like sets the precedents here, where it's like, here's how you go after these people, and like just the threat maybe in the future could dissuade some people. Now, some people are just can't help themselves on a compulsive level, and that's a whole other thing. But it's like, yeah, anything we could do to mitigate and minimize the harassment of people who are just trying to do a job, the better.
It's nice to see that Bungie is taking these threats seriously, because I've seen people in other industries that wind up having a rabid fan base, or just having the one oddball stalking them, where their parent company just says like, you sort that out on your own. Go, here's like a link to file a restraining order.
Yep.
See you later.
It can't be that.
See you on
anymore.
Monday.
It can't be that anymore. It's so easy for the dog pile to happen, and for that, like for those 5 people who can't help themselves, but like just like to stalk somebody, to find each other and to create a community that like and to like then look for the way to bring on people who are on the margins onto their side. And this was worse. This is like even worse when like the YouTube algorithm was tweaked in a way to encourage this. They've done a little bit about that, but these people still find each other and still find ways to provoke and push people on the margins more toward them, so that they are more likely to shout down people who are just trying to work a job. And so when that happens, the corporation involved, or even if it's a small developer, because there's small developers who have talked about this stuff before. The first steps are always just like, protect the people, circle the wagons around the people who are being threatened, and make sure they know that they are protected. And like if someone tries to manufacture some sort of thing, because that's the one, like the move that always gets pulled is, oh, you're being mean to the customer on your own Twitter feed, I'm going to tell your boss and you're going to get fired. Well, most of the time in a good situation, the boss is going to be like, I've dealt with this 1,000 times, I recognize this them immediately. But the employees need to understand, need to know that when they hear, when someone's like, I'm going to go tell on you, I'm going to go tattle on you, that they are protected, because that can just like eat away at you like eventually. So it's like putting processes in place so that people recognize, hey, when someone's going to come, try to get you fired, we know what's happening. We're going to have your back, and we're going to protect you first. And it's like anything that Bungie can do and any developer can do to implement that stuff and support people that are working on their staff, the better.
I also need folks to realize that harassing a single member of a huge team like Bungie, or even a single member of any team is not going to get done whatever you want to get done.
Right.
Like I've had friends that have posted where they work on LinkedIn, and then someone will find that and their name there and find them on Twitter or Facebook, and then wind up messaging them there about their very specific problems that they honestly have no control over.
Right. Oh,
Yeah.
Yes, exactly. And it's like I think the solution here is, and I can't remember his name, Jeff something over at Spider Interactive. He's been a developer working on relatively small games for a very long time, and he did a good talk at GDC. He's like, don't be afraid to fire a fan. He's like, the person who came up with saying like customer is never wrong was a customer, and they're wrong all the time, but no one ever wins an argument with a customer. If you need to, give them a refund, send them on their way, say goodbye. If they are in your forums causing problems and you could tell that they're a line stepper, you ban them. Just ban them. Get rid of them. No line steppers. And I think that's sort of not like recognizing the actual value of an individual $60 purchase is kind of important, and being like, hey, you spent years of your life on this. One person saying I spent $60 is a fraction of a fraction of a fraction of the amount of effort you put into this. So let's put that in perspective when we're dealing with people who are coming out to us with entitled complaints. And I know that there's always this big thing about consumer rights and consumer protections and stuff like that. That's almost never what we're really talking about when this stuff happens. Like, we are talking about people who have petty complaints, sometimes maybe honest and real complaints about the feeling with the game. But there is a way to do that where it's like, I will state my issues with this game and I will make them publicly known. And then now it's on you to do something. It's not on me to harass someone until it gets done. That is going to only backfire and encourage people to not want to work on these games, and encourage people not to want to do the things that you're asking them to do, because they'll feel like they are giving in to the harassment. And that's something we inherently don't want to do.
If anything, just go get a bumper sticker. Bumper stickers work.
That's right.
Like, air your grievances with bumper stickers.
Yes, the person behind you in the car wants to know your problems, and yes, absolutely, get in there, buy a bumper sticker, put whatever you want on there. Get 50 bumper stickers. That's the way to do it.
Yeah. Don't move across the country to harass a dev. Don't do that. Just get a bumper sticker where you live.
That's right. Exactly. All right. Diablo Immortal Mobile tops $100 million in player spending in 8 weeks. This comes from Craig Chappell at Sensor Tower. The mobile version of Diablo Immortal from Blizzard has surpassed $100 million in global spending across the App Store and Google Play in less than 2 months since its launch on June 1st. This is according to Sensor Tower's store intelligence data. They try to track these things using a bunch of methods. They're pretty well regarded. NPD uses them. The title has become one of the fastest video game IPs brought to mobile to hit that landmark, taking just 8 weeks to reach the milestone. Analyzing other top franchises, Sensor Tower's IP tags show that Pokemon Go from Niantic took approximately 2 weeks. Let's go here. Pokemon Go took like 2 weeks to hit that mark, while stuff like Fire Emblem Heroes took 10 weeks, Fortnite took 12, Final Fantasy 15, A New Empire took 22. So Diablo Immortal, faster than Fortnite and Fire Emblem Heroes to 100 million. And that's like, kind of feels like it's pretty equivalent to those games. But now there's more people, even more people playing mobile. Nothing's going to be Pokemon Go, it feels like, ever again. Pokemon Go was such a singular thing when it launched.
Flash in the pan.
Yeah.
People right, literally in the streets.
Right. And no one's ever played it again, as far as I'm aware, since those first couple of weeks. So this is why they do it. I mean, I feel like that's the most like vanilla thing I could say there, and everyone knows this already. But now we see it in the numbers. This is why they do it, right?
Yeah. A couple of people in the Giant Bomb chat are pointing out, like, weren't these people infuriated about a mobile Diablo game?
I mean, who are these people, right? Like, the people at BlizzCon. Okay, the people at BlizzCon almost certainly are also playing this game. Yes,
100%.
Yes,
100%.
This is a game that also, like, at the time, people were like, "This is for China," and I bet a lot of this money. This does not include revenue from third-party Android stores in China and other regions. So yes, this is the people from BlizzCon.
This is your fault.
And then, God, the game's probably making even more money. Did it ever actually launch in China? I know it had some issues at the time.
Oh gosh.
Yeah, but well, yeah, either way, we knew like this game it was going to make a lot of money. It was going to be very successful as long as it was like decent. It's decent to fine, or and like and then like your sentiment towards that wavers depending on how you feel about the monetization. But if you're sitting there playing it, be like, I hate this fucking monetization. I guess I'll just get this thing instead. You're like, that's how it feels like it's going. Is someone like muttering to themselves under their breath while they spend money in the game. If that works, they're gonna keep doing it. I think the at one point, this is the kind of thing that would have been more anxiety inducing to players, because we were in a world where we were being told that mobile is the future, and the uncertainty around console and PC gaming was real, and that we weren't sure if it was going to be able to maintain both of these things. And if the only one was going to survive, well, obviously it was going to be mobile. Now, this was back in like 2012, 2013. And then 2013, the PS4 came out and did very, very well. In 2015, 2016, PC gaming started blowing up year after year. And then the last couple of years, even more so. And now we have like things like the Steam Deck. It just feels like all of these things are viable. So yeah, we're going to get Diablo Immortal, and it's going to make them a lot of money. They're still going to make Diablo 4, of course. And there's no chance in the world they are not going to do both. And I think that's like with Nintendo, like they did Mario Kart Tour makes them a lot of money. They're going to keep making Mario Kart 8 Deluxe stuff, and then they're going to make another Mario Kart in the future. So, yeah. Did were you one of the ones playing Diablo Immortal? What's your stance with it right now?
There are so many games that handle switching from playing the mobile version to the handoff to the PC version very well. Genshin Impact is one of those. Diablo Immortal is incredibly cumbersome, and no, I did not spend any money on Diablo Immortal.
It feels like an afterthought. The the PC version,
100%. It is like a very, very bad port. I know this was infuriating Matthew a lot, but as soon as I just started seeing all the news stories about how predatory all the microtransactions were, and then the game is it's fine. Honestly, it's fine. It's just I see how much people are spending, and then like how much of a goof it seems to be. It's like, ha ha ha, I spent $20,000 on this game. And then I'm thinking in my head, like, you're an idiot. Why did you spend $20,000 on this game? None of that seems appealing to me. And it just does not seem like anything that I want any part of, just because of how scummy it feels.
Right. I think it's very easy for players who have an existing relationship with a lot of these games to check out. But I think if it's not for anyone who might. It's not really for anyone who might play this on PC. Now, the reason they put it on PC is like what they said is you guys were going to emulate it using Android emulators anyhow, so we'll just put it on PC. And that's the kind of thing where it's like, okay, well, we could tell that's kind of how you felt about this whole thing. But it's for people who like, oh man, I played a ton of Diablo when I was in college, and I'm busy, and now I'm waiting to pick up my kids in this line in my minivan. I'm going to get my phone. I'll play a little bit of Diablo Immortal, sure, and then you get hooked on it. You play a lot more. Maybe you spend some money. And it's for people who've like maybe heard about the series, or maybe never heard about the series, and just play games on their phones in a lot of different regions around the world. And it's for them, and it's working. And then also, it does seem like a lot of people who are at BlizzCon are. I mean, it's that Modern Warfare 2 meme where it was like the group on Steam was boycott Modern Warfare 2 for taking away the server browser. And then everyone in that group on launch day, Modern Warfare 2, Modern Warfare 2, Modern Warfare 2, just every single one of them playing it. So,
yeah,
absolutely.
Fickle people, I'll tell you.
That's none of that is because I bring up that image all the time. That's not to say that people shouldn't voice their criticisms if they are one day going to be a hypocrite. Like, everyone's a hypocrite. It's okay. You could still complain about things. You could still complain to Blizzard about Diablo Immortal, even if you've played it, even if you spent money, maybe especially if you've spent money.
Yeah.
All right. Steam now supports Nintendo's classic controllers for Switch Online. This is by Jan Peters at The Verge. Steam's got the Jans going. Steam's latest update adds support for Nintendo's classic controllers that it makes for Nintendo Switch. While Valve's patch notes are somewhat vague, added support for Nintendo Online classic controllers. The change means Steam now supports the Switch-specific NES, Super Nintendo, Nintendo 64, and Sega Genesis controllers. Valve spokesperson Casey Atchison Boyle confirmed to The Verge. Shout out to Casey. If you want to pick up one of those controllers to use with Steam, you should know that you can only purchase them if you're a Nintendo Switch Online subscriber. You can grab the NES and Super Nintendo controllers right now, but the N64 and Genesis controllers are currently out of stock. Jen, I have, of these, the only one I have is the Nintendo 64 controller.
I felt like it was going to be the N64 controller.
It is. It's like such a weird thing to have this wireless built-in rumble, so you don't even need the rumble pack, and 64 controller. And I was already trying to use it with like PC stuff and emulation stuff, but I started playing like NSO again the other day, and I'm like, oh, I have this thing. I should just play some N64 games. This is cool. I'm glad they did. They did this. I might actually test this out. It's neat.
I have seen multiple people that swear by the N64 controller, and a couple people. I've seen streams where people are playing like modern FPSs with an N64 controller, and I have no idea how that works. But they're still playing really well, so I'm very confused.
Yeah, that's modern. Man, how would you? Okay, that is incredible. Actually, that's anyone can do that. But I mean, I like the N64 controller. Someone in chat is asking, is it any good? I think it's good. Yeah, it's good. It is what you want from that controller. And the button layout of that system is just different enough that when you are using a modern, Xbox style controller, like all pro controllers tend to be these days, it can feel like, well, okay, wait. For some of these games, I remember I had there were 4 C buttons off to the side of the A and B buttons, so there were 6 face buttons. This has 4. Am I missing some functionality? Is that on the shoulder buttons, or is it? Oh wait, I remember in a lot of emulators they put it on the right stick because that's like the C buttons or whatever. And so I'm like, I start pressing stuff. I'm like, oh, that's weird. When I press right on the right stick, it's doing an input that just feels wrong to be on a stick. So it's like it's cool to just have everything mapped correctly, ready to go, and it feels pretty good. I don't know. I've been enjoying it. I'm gonna keep playing.
I didn't have an N64 growing up. So when Ben Pack and I did an N64 stream, what felt like years ago now, so I didn't know how to properly hold an N64 controller.
Hell yes.
The whole time I would hold it like a regular. Yeah. Let's call it an orthodox layout, right?
Yeah.
And then I would stretch my thumb out to touch the analog stick in the middle, and then Ben looks at me. It's like, you're insane. What are you doing? Move your hand over.
I could imagine being in that situation and seeing someone doing but it's like, Ben knows because he was there and he was doing it the entire time. But if you were to introduce that controller to a machine learning algorithm, like a hands algorithm, be like, all right, grab this controller, it would take it quite some time to get to put the hand in the middle. That's weird. Okay. All right. Introducing Backbone 1 PlayStation Edition, an officially licensed controller for PlayStation. Let us take a look at this thing. So this just happened.
All right, Grubb, I just popped this in the dock here.
I appreciate it. Thank you so much, Jan. This comes from Manit Kaira, the CEO of Backbone, and this is on the PlayStation blog. Inspired by the look of the DualSense wireless controller, play your PlayStation games on iPhone through PS Remote Play with ease. I am thrilled to introduce Backbone 1 PlayStation Edition, an officially licensed mobile controller for iPhone users. The look and feel of the Backbone 1 PlayStation Edition was brought to life by our design team in collaboration with the brilliant minds at PlayStation. The elegant colors, materials, finishes are all inspired by the design of the PS5 console's DualSense wireless controller, all the way down to the transparent face buttons and its visually distinctive floating appearance. This is, it's pretty cool. I'm gonna hit this. It might be loud, everybody. Just give me a second. Oh no, good, it's muted. Yeah, I think this looks pretty neat. I kind of wish that we could just get and this is maybe silly, but I wish we could just get a streaming PS Remote app on the Steam Deck. I have a Steam Deck now. I kind of don't want to be connecting things to my phone anymore, especially because I have a case on my phone, and almost with all these things, you have to take the case off. But this, the Backbone, I know a lot of people really, really like the Backbone. And this is pretty cool. Are you the kind of person who would connect a Backbone to your phone and stream the PS5 game that you've been meaning to catch up with, on your couch or whatever in bed?
I was doing that for a while with one of the Razer products, a Razer Kishi, I believe.
Right.
But
I like that.
God, I can tell you right now, I have several friends that would see this, realize that their PS5 can do remote play on their phone, and then immediately swoop on this because it is PlayStation branded.
Yeah.
Have they mentioned anything if it's also compatible with Android, or is it an Android version?
Backbone has typically been iPhone, right? As
Right.
someone
Yeah.
who has an Android phone, I remember being excited about the Kishi specifically because of this. Now, both of my
Yeah.
Kishis have broken because Razer.
Oh no.
Yeah, yeah. But so I'm like, I kind of was like over this whole idea at a certain point. Like these things keep breaking. I have to take my case off. All this, it wastes my battery. I can't see the notifications, and for some reason that's giving me anxiety and all this stuff. So I'm like, when the Steam Deck came, I'm like, this is the answer to my problems. And people are pointing out there are ways to stream PS Remote stuff to the Steam Deck. So maybe I'll just look in that instead. But yeah, I mean, if there was a one of these backbones for Android, I probably would check it out.
It looks like it is available for Android as well.
Okay, awesome. Yeah, in the blog post it just says on iPhone, but that's just because they sell more of them on iPhone. So very cool, excellent.
Oh, $100 it looks like for retail.
Yeah,
that's.
I feel like those things, they get the Black Friday deals, right? They get down to like 50.
100%. These get reduced so fast,
right? I bet the profit margins on these things are actually pretty high. So yeah.
The interesting thing here that I'm noticing is that it has similar face buttons as the PS5 controller, similar color scheme, but the analog sticks are like 360 formation or Xbox formation.
Yeah, look at that. You're right. They are offset, huh?
Offset.
I bet when you have this little real estate, right? This little face to work with. This is probably the optimal layout because you think you just kind of rest your thumbs naturally, and they're going to want to go to the top part. And it's like most of the time, left thumb's going to be on the analog stick. Most of the time, right thumb needs to be on face buttons. I suppose, like, I don't know. There's like quite a few games now that are like have you on the right stick all the time too. So, but I still bet this is just like this is the right situation or right layout for most situations, even though it's not going to be perfect in many. Yeah, I don't know. I like it. I like offset.
It looks cool.
It does. It looks nice, and yeah, obviously, the PlayStation blog post, and they're working with it's officially licensed and stuff. So that's pretty neat. I'm glad that this exists. All right, let's get to the catch up with a couple of things that everyone's talking about from the last couple of days. Starting with people are mad about GTA 6 not punching down, Jan. So this came from that Bloomberg story that we talked about in the show yesterday, where they said the culture was changing, and that has led to some self-reflection within the studio about how they approach their humor, and they no longer want to punch down. Now, this is something we've already seen reflected in some of the moves they've made. I believe they took a transphobic joke out of one of their games, and it's like, I think that the idea is that going forward, they want to maintain that. Now, this causes some people to be like, oh, are the games going to be toned down? Are they going to be rated G? Are they going to be rated E for everyone? Obviously, that's not going to happen, right, Jan?
Oh, my God. No, of course not. Humor is, you can translate humor and make any other thing funny that you don't have to do it at the expense of anyone else, you idiots.
And it's not just that, right? I think it's guardrails on humor are not necessarily there to protect other people. It's there to make the people writing the comedy think a little bit harder about their jokes and make their jokes more timeless, make them land even harder. Like when I listen to like a lot of podcasts, and the ones I've listened to for a long time that are comedy podcasts are the ones that try to walk this walk of we don't have to punch down. And so like when they get introduced like to a new opportunity to make a joke, and it's like the obvious one right there is one where it's like, well, just punch down a little, come on. And they don't do that, and yet they wrap around and they surprise you, like thinking a little bit harder about the joke and hitting it even harder. That is actually funnier. The comedy lasts longer. It's not going to be outdated in 5 years when everyone's like, oh yeah, that's pretty problematic. It's better. It is actually better for comedy. And so I'm like, this is a good thing for GTA, which has had a pretty similar tone for a long time now. If they think a little bit harder about their jokes, I'm kind of all in on that.
100%. Also, like, speaking about the timeliness, there's also a kind of a guilt factor that kicks in when revisiting old media.
Yeah.
Where it's like, yeah, I really wish I could enjoy this, but it is legitimately fucked up. And I don't want to support it because it is fucked up. Like I feel very bad even thinking about rewatching old Chappelle Show stuff because of, Dave Chappelle's whole stance on being incredibly transphobic, or at least very hazardous to his trans audience.
Yeah. I mean, and even if it's just like, well, what? Why is this the hill they're dying on? I don't get it. And it's like, if Rockstar is deciding, well, we're not going to die on that hill. We will just make a different joke instead. We are capable of doing that. I'm like, that's worthy of respect. That is something I can feel good about. Now, I'm not asking everyone to have the same feelings about comedy that I have.
Sure.
But Rockstar is also not asking that of you. If you don't like the jokes they put out there, then you don't like the jokes. So what? Go play a different game.
Go punch each other instead.
Yeah, exactly. Yes. I bet if you go look for a comedy that you like that punches down, you'll be able to find it. I bet it's out there.
So. Well, here's the thing. Like, Hitman 3 is not a comedy game, right? It is a game where you go and you're supposed to stealthily assassinate people. But even in the stream we did yesterday, there were so many numerous funny moments where comedy does not have to be at the expense of putting anyone down, right?
Yep.
That slap fight was hilarious.
Yes, yes. And the game's really good about that stuff. There's a lot of really smart writers on that game. And you could tell that they think about the situations they might end up putting you in. Yeah. And that consideration, I think, to me, it almost always makes things end up being riper for jokes, riper for comedic situations to happen, just a more pleasant place to be in, because it's like, oh, this is made by people who think about their work and think about what they're doing. And I think that would be a very good thing for a GTA 6 after all this time.
Yeah, throw in a bunch of like rakes for people to step in and then just whap themselves on the face.
I mean,
that's comedy.
Something that is kind of what I need in my life. Man, where's that Hitman level? Phil Spencer's most anticipated next game is God of War Ragnarok, and Xbox fans are mad. So okay, let's just look at this. Let's see here. It is like the most like chill thing he did. It's like Phil Spencer just filling out one of those like list things as part of like a viral tweet or whatever. And he's like, first game, Pong. Last game, Road 96. Favorite game, Robotron 2084. Fucking shout out to Phil Spencer. Game you play the most right now, Forza Horizon 5 Hot Wheels. Game you want to play next, God of War Ragnarok. First games you show a caveman, Lumines. Perfect mix of mechanics, music, style, and replayability. I mean, it's like he's gonna play God of War Ragnarok next, and it's like it's just it's nothing. And people are like, this is just like shows the Xbox doesn't have anything for this holiday. We're mad. Why would you say you're excited for this? I'm like, oh my God, just chill out, people. I think this is a nice thing for him to say, right?
Yes, it's a nice thing for him to say. This absolutely will have no effect on you and your Xbox at home.
Yes.
It's also okay to be a fan or enjoy things that you're not normally associated with.
Cory Barlog, and I think they've like discussed this since this happened, and there's a little bit of this like controversy about it. But Cory Barlog has come out previously and said one of his most anticipated games is Starfield. Like he's like, yeah, and like no one's maybe I bet some fans were freaking out about that, but it's like the Xbox fans were not freaking out about that. So yeah, it's the kind of thing where just let the man be excited to play another video game. It's okay. It's not going to end the world.
Also, Phil Spencer of all people is like the old acting as like the bridge between companies. That him checking out God of War Ragnarok, even if he's gonna play a chapter of it or the whole dang thing, he may take lessons away from that to make something similar on your stupid platform. Fans that are upset.
Yeah, I've talked about this for since it happened last year, but I remember around the time of E3 last year, he was in a meeting getting the rundown of what was going to be. And this is I reported this. He was in a meeting getting a rundown of what was going to be in Xbox's E3, and he's like, "Man, we have a lot of cinematic CG trailers again, and Sony keeps putting out Game of the Years, and we're going to have more CG trailers. I'm pretty frustrated by that." And it's him going out and playing these games is part of him doing his job. And I think him not lying about the fact that he's going to go play this game is just him being real. And that's kind of what makes Phil Spencer Phil Spencer. And if you don't like that, you're just go do something else. Go touch grass. God damn it.
Yeah. I will watch stuff that Kind of Funny makes.
Yeah, for
And
real.
that's okay.
Yeah, being a fan of like other things, it's like the honest truth here is as hard as this is to grasp, and I know everyone watching this gets this, and we're preaching to the choir.
Yes. We have the best video game audience in the world.
Yes, exactly. But these companies aren't actually on that they're not really competing with each other all that much. When gaming grows because Sony does something, Xbox benefits. When gaming grows because Xbox does something, Sony benefits. Gaming grows, everyone spends more money on gaming, people look around for more games. It is a thing that really raises all boats. So, yeah, it's just they are not that worried about it in the same way that these fanboys are.
Our audience is currently Janseling me. I'm sorry, folks. I want to take this opportunity to also say that I listen I listen and read posts on Fanbyte as well.
Yeah,
oh no,
I listen to MinMax. Oh no, here we go.
Oh god. This is why Giant Bomb has died.
All right, finally, to do the other side of the coin here, Xbox Series X and S have apparently outsold PlayStation 5 in North America so far this year. That comes down to supply constraints, obviously, to a huge degree. But PlayStation fans are mad about this because it counts the Xbox Series S, and they don't think it should, which is just very, very dumb. It's,
oh my god! I can't stand gamers.
It's cheating, Jam, because it's not as powerful. You see, and you could buy it out of the store, so it's not fair. The whole idea is none of that stuff matters. The only thing that matters is if a person buys an Xbox Series S, can they buy the new games that every developer and publisher are releasing for Xbox platform overall? Yes, well, then it's a next gen system and it counts. I kind of don't know what else to say about that, but I will tell these people PlayStation 5 is going to be just fine.
It's going to be fine.
It's going to be real good. It's going to be just fine.
Again, people owning an Xbox is not going to affect you.
Right. And even like it's not going to be like developers aren't going to say, oh my god, all the Xbox that's on the PlayStation 5, I'm not going to make PlayStation 5 games anymore. Like everyone understands what's happening right now. They understand the supply constraints. They understand that the Xbox Series S is appealing to a certain audience, and they know that you are still going to buy a lot of games for your PlayStation 5. You're going to be okay.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Okay, let's get to the polls. Let me bring this up here. Do you think that Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic remake from Aspyr ever comes out?
Ooh.
And 75.9% of people said no. 24.1% say yes. This is a simplified version of this question. A lot of people responded with, I think that game will come out, but not from Aspyr, or it'll get a lot of help from external studio. And in that case, it's like, well, where do you put it? Yes or no on this? I think I would probably lean towards no, because what we're talking about is that original game that originally got announced. Is that going to come out? I don't think it's going to come out like that. What do you think, Jan?
It's one of those things that felt like it would be, and I'm sorry, I don't know anything about game development, would be an easy type of thing to bring over, but I guess there is a whole myriad of issues. I don't see this immediately coming out, especially with the news about delaying it. So I agree with you. It could be out in a couple years, may not be tied to Aspyr anymore, maybe shifted over to someone else.
Yeah, it's the kind of thing that like there's probably enough juice behind it at Lucasfilm to make sure that this does happen. If the renegotiations fall through with Aspyr, with Embracer Media, which owns Aspyr, if they can't make it make sense, I think Lucasfilm will probably find a different partner down the line, and that just keeps pushing this game out. I think it's probably in Aspyr and Embracer Group's interest to figure this out. Embracer has a lot of talent. They have, even like they have Saber Interactive, which is like the rumored team that might take this over. They could probably do pretty good work with that, but even for Saber Interactive, a full remake seems pretty daunting. But then like they also have Eidos Montreal and stuff like that now, right? So maybe they can get some help from them. It's kind of thing where it's like I would expect Embracer to try to make this go through so they can sort of not just prove that they are capable of it, but also get some experience to more of their teams working on games of that level. Because if Embracer is going to make sense in the long run, they're going to have to start putting out games that are AAA in terms of production values relatively soon. So yeah. All right, for tomorrow's question, let's go with a chill one. Do you use folders on your gaming platforms to organize your games? And then I'm going to put that Game Mess Mornings in there so I can find it. I even spelled it right. And let's give you yes and no. What do you think, everybody? Does that sound good? I'm wondering. I have no idea what to expect here. I think the no's are going to have it by quite a bit, I guess, if I had to guess. But
yeah, I'm going to say that because I don't even like with game carts. I just kind of throw them willy nilly into like Switch carts and everything. I just throw them into my case.
Sure.
With no rhyme or reason.
Yeah, I mean, there was a time where it's like if I might have had like a CD sleeve, I might organize it once. But then after that, it's just gonna I'm just gonna put it back wherever, and the entropy will take it. The entropy always takes it in the end. And I'm like, who am I to fight entropy, really?
I wonder if folks will some of the results may be swayed depending on if folks are more inclined to play games on a PC versus console only. If it's console only, I definitely see saying no.
Right. Yeah. I think the thing with Steam has its shelves, and it has some like algorithms you can apply to those shelves. Like are they tagged a certain way? For example, I have my adult games. I'm like I didn't know what that was, so I just turned it on. It was like Assassin's Creed Odyssey and Bloodstained Ritual of the Night are adult games, but then I also have Butts on there too. Butts, people probably remember Butts, the VR game, and Genital Jousting. There we go. There's another one. It's definitely an adult game. So it's like, oh yeah, okay, I could just put all the games in there, and then I can hide that when I like have people I don't want to see my adult games around. So yeah, so that's cool. But if I had to go through and find any games in my Steam thing, there's too many. That would never happen. That would be a waste of my time. I would never do that. So folders that the system handle for me, I'm all for it. Go for it. Any sort of ways of sorting stuff, that's cool. All right, Jan, what do we have happening on Giant Bomb for the rest of the week?
For the rest of the week, we got another Game Mess Mornings popping off tomorrow. Later today, we have an episode of the voicemail dump truck. And then also later tomorrow, I don't know why I'm doing it in this order. See, this is why I can't have folders. I'm already disorganized.
Yeah, bro. We're just scattershot. We're just shotguns blasting content at you. Deal with it.
We what potentially might be the last episode of Ranking of Tekken Endings.
Yeah, we'll see.
Perhaps it is part 3. If you missed it yesterday, Grubb, Dan, and I did a Hitman stream that we have retroactively called McGrubber. Fantastic name.
Yes.
Shouts out F Tongle.
Yeah, F Tongle.
Came up with that.
Absolutely. Yeah, good job, F Tongle.
There was also an episode of the Arcade Pit with Jean-Luc, Jake Decker, and Sebmal, and myself. Gosh, what else? I think this is always a lot of stuff popping off on Wednesdays.
Yes, yeah. So yeah, go back and catch all the stuff from yesterday, and then hang out with us on the dump truck later today, and then that'll go into GameSpot After Dark. After that, usually they usually have
normally yes.
Okay. So hopefully that'll be happen too. Cool, everybody, we're gonna get out of here. Jan, thank you so much for hanging out with me. I really appreciate it. Everybody,
appreciate you.
Everybody, thank you so much for watching. You're the best audience in gaming. I'll always say that because I always mean it. Until next time, have a good one. Take care of yourself, and goodbye.